Social media is the fastest growing communications media today and across all sectors, and especially as we look at reaching new audiences and younger audiences, it is probably the most effective way of getting a message out in the timeliness that people are asking for. There are three things to remember with social media: that it's all about content, connection, and building community. So you have to have good content, you have to make this connection with your audiences, and then you build this sense of community. So especially when we look to the agriculture sector, it's becoming incredibly apparent that this community is tapping into social media to continue the sense of community that it's long been its legacy, but also finding the most current and pertinent information to increase its efficiency and effectiveness.
I think it's important to use social media and ag communications for the obvious reason. Everyone's doing it, and if we don't have our message in agriculture out there, then it's going to be a detriment to our industry or to that organization. So while you may not be comfortable with it, or it seems like something that you don't want to do personally, it's important that, you know, it is that situation. If everyone's doing it, you need to be there, and you can't be the last one there.
Look to agriculture, you're seeing two trends. You're seeing an aging of agriculture, especially when the average farmer today, ag producer if you will, is 55 and older. But you're also finding new trends with younger audiences and smaller farmers. So in those two trends, social media can become very important. It is our traditional legacy farmers, if you will, have always looked to the land grant system for providing information. So this is another avenue to get this information out rapidly. And of any industry, having immediacy of information is critical. If you have a new pest or an invasive species, or if you're finding that there's something that is going to be potentially damaging, whether it's weather or invasive species, information needs to get there immediately. You can't wait to research it, put out a publication, have an event. You need to get that information, and time is of the essence. On the opposite end, and with our younger audiences, building that sense of community where they may not traditionally come from rural or agricultural families is of essence, and social media is a great way to build that sense of community, increase access to critical information, and build that community.
I think the impact of social media and ag communications is it's a huge impact. It's a way that we can tell our story and work with people individually. We can work with the moms who are going to the grocery stores. We can work with the grandparents who have been on a farm, you know, in their younger life, and we can tell that story more personally. And it's not just speaking to the masses. You can really impact people that way.
I don't know if they've really changed at all. I think they are based on the sense of knowing your audience, knowing what the situation is, knowing the messages that you need to communicate, and then communicating them. One could argue that we are communicating in much smaller amounts of information. You know, how do you put critical information into 140 characters or less? So how we communicate in those restrictive forms on the digital platform is one of the main differences. But good communication is good communication. Good writing is good writing. So we can't throw out things that have been perennially successful in effectively mitigating a situation. We need to remember that.
I think communication strategies have had to change due to social media. Communication professionals have to be quicker. They have to be prepared to tell their story in a shorter, amount of time, and it has to be a concise message. And it's one that you have to constantly think about on a daily basis.